The company, unfortunately, was burning through a lot of cash, more than $500,000 a month. The team was doing a great job appealing to users, but their primary focus was getting free users. What I brought was a focus on paying users, and in fact, reigniting that revenue curve, which took some time. It didn't happen right away.
Kerry Rosenzweig joined IMVU in late 2007 when revenues were trending flat and the company couldn't turn a profit. At some point in the last 3 years, the virtual world of IMVU got a second life, as revenues went from $9 million in 2007 to $11 million in 2008 to $25 million in 2009, and today IMVU is on pace to hit $40 million this year. We talked to Rosenzweig to find out how IMVU switched into overdrive. Between 2007 and 2010, something had to have happened because your revenues have essentially doubled every year for the last 2 years. What happened?
Before, a lot of the activity was both on the IMVU website, and then we had a downloaded client, and our users had to go back and forth, and especially for someone who's new, just coming in, they were a little bit confused. In fact, many of them weren't even sure that they could buy virtual goods. The second thing is, we had a lot of users who had money in their pockets and they wanted to buy virtual goods, but we weren't providing mechanisms to do it because at that time we offered credit cards and PayPal. Since then, we offered prepaid cards, which are now in Target and Walmart and 7-Eleven and lots of other stores. And then overseas, we added a lot of countries with SMS payments. The payment options probably represented about a third of all of the growth was due to the addition of prepaid cards and the addition of SMS, particularly overseas. About a third came from making the user interface much simpler. When we made that change, all of the graphs went from this to that, like overnight. It was terrific. IMVU
is averaging 10 million uniques a month, but retention is an issue. There are 2 million active users, a small fraction of the 50 million subscribers. The company is also competing against other virtual worlds like Second Life and Habbo Hotel. Rosenzweig says the next key to growth will be to capture a greater share of the international picture, the Mac market, possibly the iPad, and yes, unlocking the power of Facebook.
One of the things we're going to do is simply to crowdsource the creation of IMVU in many different languages. So we think that's going to be a great catalyst. Secondly, IMVU today is only offered on a PC. So when we offer it for the Mac later this year, just imagine all of the users who want to use it. But more importantly, as we look to the future, we are going to be moving much more towards entertainment and gaming specifically. So we're going to do that in two ways. One is we're going to be bringing gaming mechanics and actual two-dimensional and three-dimensional games to IMVU. Secondly, we're going to take parts of the IMVU experience and we're going to export them onto social networks, starting with Facebook. How big of an opportunity does Facebook represent for your company, right? There's about 400 million users on Facebook. How do you capture that audience and bring them into your world? We have no applications on Facebook yet, none. And yet, there are over 850,000 Facebook users have liked or are fans of IMVU on Facebook. So we think we've got a great starting point in terms of the overlap between IMVU users and Facebook. Are you disappointed that it took you guys so long to get onto Facebook and have a profile, really have an impact there? Well, I think we're not the only company that, had they known that Facebook would grow to 400 million monthly users a couple years ago, probably would have gotten a sooner start. On your site, it still has a beta stamp on it. Yes. I mean, you guys were founded in 2004, right? Yes. It's been 6 years. When are you ever going to get rid of that? That's a great question, and it's something we debate a lot, both among the employees as well as in the community. And we've held ourselves up to a very high standard, and I think it may be some time because in our minds, what we say is when we finally reach the point where we're delivering the quality of service that we expect, that our users expect, then we'll take that beta. So where are the holes right now? The holes in the service? Well, we would like to be simpler. We'd like to be even easier to use. That's always a quest. Technically, we'd like to be flawless. We'd like to be perfect. Typically, our uptime is very, very high, 99% plus, but we still want to be perfect, and so that's an area. We talked about Macintosh, we talked about international, we talked about adding gaming mechanics and games and a lot more entertainment. So there's a long way to grow. Yeah.